Good evening, people. Titus here for a short Blender tutorial on how to import characters and animations from Mixamo. Let's jump right into it. Okay, so we got the Mixamo landing page here. You'll have to register like an email address, but it's pretty much free. And then you'll be able to choose a character and actually download some animations. So once you do that, we'll just go into the Browse Characters. And you got a pretty decent selection. Just kind of come through and look through and see what you like. Any characters will work, so it doesn't really matter. So for this one, I think I will stick with Pete. Alright, and then from there you can click on Animations at the top. And there's a little search function. For this example, I think we'll do 4. We'll do an idle, walk, run, and a jump. So you can search idle. And then I think I like that one there. So I'll go ahead and hit download. We're going to be using the FBX format. Make sure with skin is selected and choose whatever FPS you want. Typically 30 is fine, but you also have 60 and 24. 24 would be more like for film, but I'll stick with 30. Leave keyframe reduction to none, and then just hit download. Alright, now we got our idle animation. Let's go ahead and search for a walk. I think this one right here will work just fine. When you're doing movement animations, you want to make sure that your character is in place. So check the in place. And then if you wanted to mess with the settings, you can play around and they'll have some different effects depending on what you're going for. But most of the time, the defaults are fine. So go ahead and hit download on this for our walk. Alright, we got our walk animation. Next one up is going to be a run. Oops. So we'll do run. And then I think the fast run here is going to work good. And then again, because this one's moving along the Z-axis, we'll want to make sure we check in place, because we're going to be handling the movement from the actual game engine, so that's why we're doing that. So we'll hit download and leave the defaults, and then hit download again. Alright, and that completes our run. Last one up is going to be our jump. And this one looks fine. Oops. And this one as well. We'll check the in place. And then we'll just hit download. Now you'll notice this one actually looks like it's in reverse. So we might have to address that later. Alright, so we got the animations all downloaded. Now we need to assemble them into a single armature. We can do that by using your 3D software of choice. For this example, I'm going to be using Blender. So we can come to File, Import, and then Import FBX. And then just select all of your SBX files. And then for the transform, make sure you check the manual orientation. And the forward and up vector, make sure to set that based on the software you plan on using these animations with. In my case, I'm going to be using them in Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine uses the X forward and the Z up. And then we'll just hit import. And it just takes a second for it to bring those in. Alright, there we go. You'll notice they look a little weird. And we also have many of them. So each armature is a different animation. So we only really need one. So what we can do is just highlight all the other objects except one armature, and then just press X to delete. When you delete a containing object, all the child objects are actually left behind. So we'll have to select the first one, scroll down, and then shift select, And then we can press X and delete those again. So now we're left with the single armature. You'll notice our character looks a little bit off. If we bring the transform panel up with N, you'll notice we need to set up the rotation here. So the first thing we'll do is in the X, we'll rotate it up 90 degrees. And then if I come to the front view with 1, I can see that now our character has the Z up and then is facing the X forward in the positive. So that is correct. So I can press Control A, apply my rotation, and then that part is done. The next thing we'll want to do is bring up our timeline here. We're going to go from timeline and switch it into the dope sheet. And then under the dope sheet options, we can change that to the action editor. And then from here, we can scrub through and see the different actions. This one is going to be our idle. So I can click here and just type in idle. We're then going to go through and basically check each of them and rename them appropriately. So this one is my walk. And this one is my run. And this one is my jump. Now with the jump, it looks like there is an issue. This looks like it's playing in reverse. So that's easy enough to fix. We can come into our animation tab. And then what you can do is just move your cursor to the first frame, and then the armature is going to be selected, so all these are going to show up and be highlighted. So you can just right click, go to snap, actually I'm sorry, mirror, and you can mirror by times over current frame. And then you can press G to grab and just drag it forward. So now when you scrub through, it looks like it's a forward jump, which is what we want. So that looks good. Come back to layout, and all our animations are good now. So we can just press A to select everything in our scene, which is just going to be the armature. That's the only thing we want. And then we're going to go to File, Export, FBX. Choose a location where you want to save it. Make sure selected objects is limited, so we only get the armature and the mesh objects parented to that armature. And then same thing with the forward and up vector. Choose that to your appropriate software that you're bringing this into. So again, I'm using Unreal Engine, so that's going to be X forward and Z up in the positive axis. Last thing we'll do is come to the armature tab or section and make sure add leaf bones is not checked. And then you can just save it, and then we'll bring in an engine. Alright, we're now in engine, and I've created a blueprint class with the animations all brought in. And then you can see our idle animation is working. If we walk around, we can see the walk animation looks pretty good. And our run animation is also pretty good. And then our jump or fall is working as well. Alright, good people. Hope you found some informative value in this topic, but as always, thanks for watching, consider subscribing, and see you on the next one.